Mazie Hirono is a moron. She's also the senator from Hawaii, and she's one of the leading lights for the Democrats on Capitol Hill. And there's good news for Mazie Hirono. She's not alone. In fact, we've got a bit of a narrative here we're going to lay out for you that suggests maybe all the Democrats in D.C. have just lost it. They're just stupid. Let's start with Mazie, shall we? Yesterday in the Senate, it speaks for itself. Take it away, Maze.
Diversity is America's greatest strength. And as my Republican colleagues continue to demonize and otherize anyone who does not look like them, hate crimes continue to rise. Data shows that hate incidents are at their highest point since 2020, when the Senate passed my COVID-19 hate crimes bill. The Constitution mandates equal protection of the laws for everyone. Full stop. It does not bar diversity, equity, and inclusion. Programming relating to diversity is not illegal just because Donald Trump says so. That is why I have introduced a pro-diversity resolution joined by all of my Democratic Judiciary Committee colleagues, reaffirming our commitment to the fundamental values of diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. I am proud to be from a state that is home to the nation's largest share of multiracial Americans. In Hawaii, we don't fear diversity, we embrace it. It is what brings us together. That is why I find it so confounding that my Republican colleagues are so fearful of diversity. My Republican colleagues are intent on teaching young people that people different from them are to be feared, mistrusted, and treated with suspicion. How does that bring us together? I've heard Republicans say that diversity undermines national unity. I'd like to remind us all that almost everyone at this table is descended from immigrants. The continental U.S. was created by Europeans who migrated to this place and founded a nation pretending that there were not millions of people who already lived here before Columbus so-called discovered America.
Let me interrupt here for a minute because I don't want you to wander off and meander or lose your train of thought because it's hard to follow all of this. But none of this makes any logical sense, what she's laying out there. And by the way, the straw men that keep getting popped up. No Republican has ever said that diversity undermines American unity. What we say is emphasizing and prioritizing diversity over merit or excellence is divisive for our nation. By focusing on what makes us different instead of what commonality we have, that's the problem. So, of course, the straw men constantly get set up and then they burn them in an inferno. That said, what the hell is this woman talking about? And I apologize if this is just the way she talks, but she's either had one too many Mai Tais before showing up for work, or she really does have like an intellectual problem because she is not the way she pronounces her words, and it's not because English is her second language, because English isn't her second language, it's her primary language. But she pronounces the words like somebody who doesn't know the language. What was that word that she used earlier? Otherize? That Republicans otherize people of color? And by the way, I love the straw man argument that is like, oh, you don't like diversity, but we're a nation of immigrants. If I had to hear one more person say we're a nation of immigrants, being an immigrant doesn't make you diverse. You can be an immigrant from Scandinavia. By the way, what does diversity even mean? Like I'm made up of like 5 different ethnicities. Yeah, Mazie Hirono is of Japanese descent from the island of Hawaii, the state of Hawaii. Now, if she hires somebody who looks exactly like her and has exactly her ethnicity, she'll say that she hired this person because of diversity. But how does that make any sense? She literally hired someone that looks exactly like her. That's not diversity, right? So all of this is just absolutely moronic. But I'm just attacking the premise of Mazie Hirono's argument and the way she's trying to make it. The stupid gets worse. Watch.
This country was built by the work of slaves, dragged here against their will from a continent they would never see again. So we have always struggled with racism and exclusion in our country, and yet we have worked to keep the country united by encouraging and, yes, sometimes forcing inclusion. And before President Trump, for 6 decades, presidents of both major political parties supported diversity initiatives to strengthen the workforce, expand opportunity, and ensure everyone has a fair shot at achieving the American dream. In President Reagan's farewell address, he spoke of America as, and I quote, shining city upon a hill, end quote, and said it was a city, once again quoting President Reagan, teeming with people of all kinds, living in harmony and peace. And if there has to be city walls, the walls had doors, and the doors were open to anyone with the will and the heart to get here. Diversity does not undermine American unity. It's what creates it.
All right. First of all, take Ronald Reagan's name out your mouth, if I may quote Will Smith. Not that I would slap you, but keep Ronald Reagan's name out your mouth. All right. I love it when Democrats now, 40 years after the fact, love quoting Ronald Reagan as if they're being profound to make some point when they thought Ronald Reagan was Satan when he was in office. They undermined everything Ronald Reagan did. I assure you, Mazie Hirono, when Ronald Reagan was president, was probably marching in the streets protesting Ronald Reagan, calling him a racist. Every single thing they say about Donald Trump right now, they said about Ronald Reagan. I was there. I know it. Go to the Young America's Foundation Reagan Ranch Center in Santa Barbara, California. They have a whole exhibit on all the headlines and all the media coverage of Ronald Reagan, and it's eerily familiar. That said, she's so stupid she doesn't understand the point that Ronald Reagan was making. Yes, our nation is a shining city on the hill, which, by the way, is a biblical reference, Mazie. And it is made up of people of all races and ethnicities. But what was that last part that you seem to not understand because you're a moron? Singing in harmony. What does harmony mean? It means that you're singing, first of all the same words of the same song. And you may be singing at a different pitch, but it's in key and it makes a beautiful sound together, because the point is you're all literally on the same page of music, if I can take the metaphor one step further, trying to achieve the same thing because of your love of the music you've decided to sing in harmony. Maybe not in unison, not exactly the same way on the same notes, but they fit together to make a beautiful sound. The diversity that these people support is nothing like that. They don't want to work together. They want to burn it down in the name of diversity. They want to blow it up in the name of diversity. They want to scream you into silence in the name of diversity. So she missed Ronald Reagan's whole point there while she's quoting him, thinking that in some way Ronald Reagan supports her position. But there's more.
Diversity is our strength. Unity is our superpower. I do have one yes or no question for Mr. Hamilton. I know you're involved in DEI cases, but has any court opined that DEI is unconstitutional? Yes or no?
Yes,
Which court?
the United States Supreme Court.
I disagree with you because you're talking about the Harvard case. And,
You can go read it yourself.
and if you are using that case for the proposition that the United States Supreme Court deemed diversity goal as being unconstitutional, you are very wrong.
I don't think the Supreme Court said anything about diversity in the
Yeah,
entire.
so-
the
okay,
entire-
so
there-
you
just
do
spouted
admit
off
that
so many
diversity,
strawmen.
the
We
goal-
could fill a
you
field
see,
in Kansas.
I'm asking the
with that
questions
many
here.
strawmen
The goal of
we have
diversity
here.
is
We're
not
not talking about
unconstitutional.
diversity. We're talking about discrimination.
The goal
What
of
the Supreme
diversity
Court
is
has
not
condemned is
unconstitutional.
discrimination against American citizens.
That's it.
Colleges, universities
This-
cannot discriminate against American citizens
You know,
on the
I'm not
basis
here
of
to
their
give
race.
you a forum
That is
to
flagrantly
basically
unconstitutional.
spew your anti-diversity rhetoric, okay? You are in court right now, and I would say that no court, including the Supreme Court, has not said that seeking diversity is unconstitutional.
Okay, so that was amazing. And by the way, that's Gene Hamilton. He's the president of America First Legal. And boy, Mazie Hirono stepped in it big time there. Has anyone said that diversity is illegal? Well, okay, the idea of first of all, this question is stupid. But secondly, diversity as it is applied in DEI mandates and standards that specifically reward people based on the color of their skin when their merit did not rise to the level of achieving what they've been given solely because of their color of their skin. For instance, admittance into Harvard, where Harvard took DEI principles to the point where they were racially discriminating against Asian Americans, by the way, Ms. Hirono, against Asian Americans, because Harvard decided we got too many of these Asians here. Too many of them have the high SATs. Too many of them have great grades. Too many of them had wonderful essays. So we can't have so many Asians at Harvard. We're Harvard after all. So they kept Asians out for the sake of other races and ethnicities. A lot of them, by the way, rich white boys and girls with legacy parents whose mommy and daddy promised to let them get into Harvard. And Hirono's on Harvard's side in this. And when called up to the Supreme Court on their discriminatory practices, where they were literally discriminating and excluding people solely based on their ethnicity, the color of their skin, the shape of their eyes, their defense was diversity. Their defense was DEI. And they lost. The Supreme Court said, no, that is not a defense for racial discrimination. Mazie Hirono has no idea what she's talking about. And she just got smacked down beautifully by Gene Hamilton. All right, let's wrap it up with Mazie because we've got more stupid Democrats for you. Stand by.
It is not. Okay, well, I'm out of time. You can see that we are a very divergent group of people here.
Intellectually diverse.
And you know, on the basis of the
By the way, she just used the word divergent instead of diverse. Does she think the D, or does she think divergent is like a subroot of the word diverse or something? I don't think she's using that word the way it's supposed to be used.
the suspicion supposedly for people who are DEI, that would mean that you suspect me of something. I cannot be trusted. I hope that is not your view.
I don't know if you're, hopefully you're not talking about me because that's a ridiculous
Okay,
accusation.
good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish everybody else would say the same thing about those people in our
Okay.
country who happen to
Your
look
time has
different
expired,
from
Senator.
the
Thanks.
rest of
Thanks.
That's right. No, we don't think poorly of you at all because of your race or your skin color or your ethnicity or the shape of your eyes or where you come from or anything like that. No, of course not. We don't mock you for any of those things. That's stupid. No, we mock you because you're a moron. But at least she's not alone. Rashida Tlaib decided to put together a little TikTok Instagram video. And as she described it, this was Rashida Tlaib, Congresswoman from Michigan, standing on the steps of the Capitol, showing her support for the Palestinian people. And she decided to show that support in the most intellectually powerful possible way. When you're a Democrat and you want to show your support for Palestinians, there's no more brilliant, irrefutable argument that you can articulate for those people than this.
Palestinian people, this is all for you. Palestinian people, this is all for you. Palestinian people, this is all for you.
I want to play it on a loop for the next like half hour. It's like so powerful. I mean, how do you dispute that? How do you dispute that argument? I mean, it's so logical. It's so brilliant. It's so, I mean, this is it. This right here is the Democrats in Washington, D.C., circa 2025. You can put anything in there. You can put anything in there. Palestinian people, this is for you. How about, hey, Donald Trump, we resist. How about transgender men and women? How about the people of New York who want government-run grocery stores? It works. It's all encompassing. It's brilliant. This is what they're reduced to. This is who they are. This is the party. She should run for president. No one else can communicate their policies as articulately and brilliantly and absolutely irrefutably than that. I'm going to state my cause, and then I'm going to bang on a piece of metal to annoy the hell out of you until you succumb to my wishes. It's Rashida Tlaib. And if you want more evidence of how stupid the Democrats are in Washington, D.C., we've got one final little paper trail for you. This is literally from the Democrats. This is from their official Democrat National Committee social media team who posted yesterday on the X platform, but I think this also went on different platforms as well. A real burn on Donald Trump and his economic policies. Take a look. This is devastating. I don't know how you recover. There it is. It's got their, little blue check mark and their little logo of their jackass Democrats. And it says, this is Trump's America. And there you go. You got U.S. grocery prices reach record highs in 2025. And they knew they had the headline, and they even have a graph that shows cheese and alcohol. And by the way, since when is alcohol a grocery? I mean, I understand for Nancy Pelosi, it's like part of her food pyramid, right? All right, that's fine. Cheese, alcohol, grocery, dairy, produce, and meat, okay? And then you got your graph there. And it's like, this is unequivocal. This is perfect. We got him. We nailed him. Look at Trump. This is perfect. So they put the graph out. They actually published this. I assure you, at the level of the Democratic National Committee, I highly suspect that just one set of eyes are allowed to look at something before publish is hit for a tweet. I would be shocked if this didn't go through multiple people to sign off on it and say, yep, that's good, go for it. That looks good to me. Take it away. But here's the thing, even if it wasn't, whoever was empowered to publish this has to answer to the hierarchy, and ultimately the DNC and the people who run it, they need to take ownership of it. That's how these things work, right? If I hire somebody to tweet on my behalf, which I never would, but if I did, and they put something out there that makes me look like an idiot, that's on me because I hired him to do it. So let's take a quick look at this, because if you haven't picked up on it already, the line graph here where, all prices are super, super cheap and super affordable way down here in the lower left, the X graph on that, the X line on the graph is October 2019. Who was president in October 2019, back when everything was super affordable? That'd be Donald Trump. Now, as you see prices really start to skyrocket here, see now that date when everything starts to go up would be October 2021. Who was president in October 2021? In fact, as you look at this line graph, as you see the numbers spike where everything gets more expensive and then stays expensive for a suspended period of time, well, maybe this will make it a little clearer because the Republicans at the White House had a, as you can see, rapid response to this. And they put together a nice little pink box there to show the Biden presidency, you know, where all the prices went up. Trump has been president for this little half a centimeter. And of course, Trump was president for this whole section over here where the prices are low. Now, what kind of moron publishes this tweet thinking they've got a real burn on Donald Trump and on Republicans? Well, a Democrat, a DC Democrat who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Oh, and the best part, if we can go back to the original tweet here, is that it just got lambasted and ridiculed and mocked and destroyed and exposed for the idiocy that it was. And then how did the Democrats react? How does a good Democrat react when they say or do something stupid for all the world to see that makes no sense and they have no excuse or explanation? What do? They pretend it never happened. They just deleted it. It's gone now. Disappeared. Let's pretend that never happened. You know, like the entire Biden presidency. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. And Kamala Harris's candidacy and Tim Walz. Let's just pretend none of that ever happened. Let's just go. It's fine. We'll just delete it. We'll just rewrite history. We'll tear down those statues. We'll pretend like we weren't in favor of slavery. You know, we'll pretend like we didn't invent the Ku Klux Klan. We'll pretend like we didn't resist civil rights and that we were in favor of segregation. We'll just delete it. Just delete it. Just pretend it never happened. Let's pretend that we were never on the side of the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Let's pretend that we loved Ronald Reagan. Just delete it. Just delete it all. It's fine. Let's pretend that we covered up the Epstein story for as long as we possibly could until about a minute and a half ago when we've decided that it hurts Trump. So now we're all going to call for the Epstein file. Let's just delete everything before now. Let's just pretend it's not there. Just delete that. Oh my God, I can't believe you tweeted that. Just delete it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Never happened. Never happened. They're morons. But they always have been. They just get away with it because they've never had a media to call them out on. Until now. Because everything's different now. And we're never going to let them get away with it again.